First of all, thank you very much to the organisers for inviting us here today. We've actually been with the guys for over the last three. This is the third day. We had a conference at UNHRC and some events outside thereafter. I really wanted to take the chance to talk to you, to maybe share some thoughts based on my own experiences and my 64 years of having observed this world and what goes on. Really about the importance of the political process, about elections. Elections take many forms. They can be local elections. They can be a referendum. A referendum is an election, and they can be very influential. Political campaigning takes many forms as well. Human rights campaigning is political campaigning. So don't let people say to you, you're a human rights campaigner, don't get involved in the politics. Human rights is politics. Inflation is politics. Children's schooling is politics. Security is politics. Everything is politics. When we talk politics, we talk human rights, people may say that or may try to present them as different, but actually they are very similar. The main differences are actually in purpose, in strategy and endurance. There's a big difference between an electoral election and a human rights campaign. Both are about persuasion. You're trying to persuade people. In one case, you're persuading somebody to vote for you. In another, you're persuading people to recognise what's happening and persuading them to help you to address the situations. Different worlds, same principles, same principles. One of the main differences is that a political campaign by its nature is very, very short. It's clearly defined. An election can be called and the campaign can take a couple of months, maybe a little bit less. A human rights campaign is completely different, however. A human rights campaign is not called for a particular date. It's something that develops and it lasts not for weeks or months, it lasts not for years, it can last for generations. And you know what I'm talking about there. This is a campaign that's lasted for generations. There's no definite starting point, there's no definite finishing point, there's no clear winner at the end. It goes on and it goes on and it's on. There are no votes to cancel. There's no fixed timetable, no clearly defined electorate. In many cases, you've got friends, you've got family, and you've got enemies. You've got people who are attacking you, people who have a lot more power than you do. The nature of your constituency, as it were, brings two things. It brings vulnerability because you do not have the power of a state. It actually brings strength in that you've got a shared ambition, you've had shared experiences, and you're all equally committed. This is your strength. This is your strength. And having known the Baloch campaign for several years now, I'm very much aware of that passion that you have. Passion is very important, but however, one of the weaknesses is that human rights issues can be fashionable. You know what I mean? And they can easily drop out of the public eye. Some of you will be also old enough to remember the civil war in Biafra. If anybody remembers this in Africa, it was a horrendous civil war. It was on the news every single day, every night when I was a kid growing up. The most horrific images. It was the first time we'd seen anything like this. Children, entire districts, towns being starved to death deliberately. And this went on and on and on. It was the images shocked the world. Oxfam actually led the campaign on that, and they did a brilliant job. It was the first time we heard of Oxfam. But unfortunately, Biafra is no longer fashionable. Oxfam have other issues to deal with. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And so people forget about Biafra. I would have been 11 years old when that conflict began. I'm 64, and that conflict is still going on to this day. And it's never in the news because it's no longer fashionable. The people of Biafra have a disadvantage, or should I say they fail to have an advantage that you have, is that actually you have a very, very well-established and very influential diaspora and very, very great organisation and leadership, I must say. You have to be clear, you have to repeat the message to get it across. However, it's also very important to change the message from time to time, to change the faces. When we're working on human rights campaigns, Ian and myself, we always have the priority to have new faces, new arguments. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them. Tell them what you told them. But next time, tell them a different message. You've got to keep it moving. A moving target is harder to hit. Winning in a human rights campaign is a lot more complex and uncertain than winning in an election because of the longevity of a campaign. It's also because a campaign is seeking a mandate and it has a bottom line. Human rights campaigns seek justice, and there are different interpretations of what justice, and misinterpretations can be used against you. I think that one thing that human rights campaigners can learn from those who work on political campaigns is the importance of being able to prioritise, to target, and knowing when to act with urgency, having the ability to act with urgency. Both types of campaigns, be they political or human rights, they're all about people. Politics is people. The polity is people. It's us. We are the polity. Human rights, also about dignity. I have to tell you, and you probably as cynical like I can be, I often don't see a lot of dignity in our politicians. But in human rights campaigning, this is fundamental dignity. Politics, a political campaign, we know when it starts, we know when it finishes, and we know what the result is, which comes on a particular day. For us, as human rights campaigners, this is not about a day. This is, as I say, generational. Human rights campaigning is far greater challenge than political campaigning, and very often a lot more harrowing. It's also a far greater calling. We try to, in our campaigning, to change the focus very often, and one of the things that we've done, I'll just wind up now, we produced a white paper. It's an assessment of Pakistan's non-compliance with GSP Plus obligations. Very pleased to say that this has been accepted by the Directorate General of Trade, DG Trade, for the European Commission. They've actually accepted this as evidence for their forthcoming consultation on continuance or otherwise of Pakistan's GSP Plus status. And I have to tell you that after maybe 2 or 3 years of trying to contact and get responses or any information whatsoever out of the European Commission, we've had no luck whatsoever. And you can imagine our joy when they said that this one had been accepted as evidence. We do have some copies over here, not so many if anybody wants to take them away, but I think Ian has also got a QR code you can download. It's a small step, but it's a step, and every single one counts. I've just there tried to bring you my sort of view on how our campaign should be managed and what the expectations should be. And if you lose an election, you think, maybe in the next 4 years' time we're going to get there, we're going to get there. In a human rights campaign, you can't afford to lose, because every step back will be, as I said, generational. I wish you all the very best of luck, and it's been a great honour for me to come here and speak to you this afternoon. Thank you.